I am 23 years old, a full-time college student, and I work a full-time job. As a waitress at Rum Runners in Cape Coral, tipping influences me because it's how I make a living. Hourly, I make about $4 and some change, and on a typical night, I will bring in at least $100. At the restaurant I work at, we tip out 3% of our nightly tips to the assistant staff or people that bus tables, run food out to tables, and the bartenders. $100 is the minimum goal for a night at my restaurant. Any less than this is time wasted. On average, to make about $100 a night, a server would have to sell at least $600 worth of food and drinks, and that's assuming that the customer leaves a 20% tip. One of the many tipping stories happened this week when I waited on a nice couple from England. They told me they visit Southwest Florida for a couple months out of the year, and at the time of the couple's arrival, the sun was just setting. They were immediately taken care of, with waters brought to the table upon greeting. "Good evening and welcome to Rum Runners," I said. "Can I get you started with a cocktail?" They ordered 2 gin and tonics, which I ran to the bar to get. After I delivered the drinks promptly to their table, the couple, now smiling, ordered an appetizer for each person and 2 entrees, which included a filet mignon and a fish special. Once I received the order, I hurried back to the kitchen, weaving my way through the crowd of people in the bar to cut complimentary bread to drop off to the table before the appetizers made it there. The bread was so hot it burned my fingertips as I tried to cut it, and the fresh yeast smell covered the entire kitchen. Upon the bread delivery, they acknowledged the gesture by saying, "You must have read our minds." I perceived this as they were happy with the service I was providing, and I moved forward giving attentive service, refilling their water and cocktails when needed. They were my only table at the time, so I was completely dedicated for the next hour to the couple's needs. At this point, their bill was about $150. If I did my math right, the mediocre tip would be $20, a decent tip would be $25, and a job well done would be $30. After dinner, which they told me they thoroughly enjoyed, they continued their meal. "Can I have a coconut cream pie, a key lime pie, and 2 coffees," the gentleman said, and I then ran to the kitchen to brew fresh Java. When I dropped off the desserts, the couple began talking to me, and we had a good conversation comparing the weather in England to Southwest Florida. "It doesn't rain as much in England as people make it seem," the woman told me. We talked about my life as a student and how I have lived in Florida my entire life, and I added, "I don't know what I would do living in the cold." I really felt a bond between the couple and I. I dismissed myself after a few minutes so that they could enjoy their desserts in peace, and I came back with the bill 10 minutes later. Seeing how we had such a nice conversation and the service I provided was meticulous, I was anticipating a tip that would cover the services. The bill came to $160 and the couple paid in cash, leaving with the phrase, "Keep the change," and a smile that reassured me I provided them with great service. I hurried back to a computer to enter their payment, and I counted the cash they had given me, which added up to a total of $163. They had tipped me $3 for an hour and a half of dedicated service, which adds up to about a 3% tip. I'm sure the couple didn't understand that at the end of the night, servers have to tip out 3% of their sales to the bussers, bartenders, and other help. At this point, I didn't even make enough money from the tip to cover the cost of tip out, which pays the assistant staff. I literally had to pay, with other money I had earned that night, to wait on this table. I had lost money serving this couple. This is just one example of how tipping influences people, especially in America, where tipping is an active part of our culture. When visiting America, tip 20% for a job well done, 18% for good service, and 15% minimum for adequate service.